Was I on mute there, guys? Oh, yes. Okay, so now I'm back. Lacey, it's great to see you. All right, so guys, today we're talking about your goals, and we have about 2 months before Christmas, let's say. Okay, so let's get serious about what we can accomplish before Christmas. Now, we want to find, obviously, I want you guys to be able to close a deal, close at least one or two deals, maybe your first deal. Your first real estate investing deal between now and then. That would be make for an awesome Christmas. What else would you like to accomplish before Christmas? Start thinking about, you got 2 months. So how is success achieved? Through your success GPS. So what's your success GPS? It's your goals, plans, and schedule, GPS. So what are your goals? And now let's, that's how you, and the only reason you don't succeed, if someone says, well, I'm a failure, or somebody's calling me a failure, what does failure mean? Failure means that you set a goal and you didn't reach it, and you stop trying. Okay, as long as you keep trying, you never failed. Okay, the failure only happens when you quit, when you stop trying. So if you have a really good goal, I had a goal that I wanted to marry a beautiful woman and have 2 to 4 kids. Okay, now if I had given up on that goal and it never happened, then okay, I would be a failure at that. All right, now fortunately I met Lynette and we had 3 kids, and so that goal was achieved. So one of your goals is to have money, make money in real estate, and add to your income, and hopefully set up some passive income, and potentially maybe you have expectations to actually achieve financial freedom through real estate, and it's possible. But what do you got to do? You got to keep trying, you got to keep working at it, and you got to keep making smart adjustments. So everything is all about, putting in your time and making smart adjustments. How many hours, how much time are we talking about? Maybe, 4 or 5 hours a week, maybe not even that. I mean, you can do a lot in 2 or 3 hours a week, just getting on the phone, talking to sellers and trying to set up appointments, and so, I'm going to say 5 hours a week. That would be a good, if you could shoot for 5 hours a week. We used to say 7 to 10 hours a week, but if you're, depending on what you're doing for lead production and how automated you are, you really don't need that much time to achieve your goals. So again, what is a failure? A failure is a person who sets a goal and then doesn't achieve it and quits, okay, and stops trying. So the goal is either, make money in real estate or financial freedom through real estate or whatever. And then you got to make your plan. Starts with your goal, then your plan. So what is your plan? What kind of deals do you want to do? Where are you going to try to find your deals? What's your farm area? What marketing strategies are you using? What scripts are you using? What paperwork are you using? All those little details about the mechanics. Okay, that kind of comes into play at that point. So you have to have your plan worked out as detailed as possible. And the stronger your plan and the more practical your plan, the quicker your success. Okay, and the more likely your success. I hate to say that you won't succeed, but here's the thing. If you start working that plan and the plan's not really working, you have 2 choices. You either quit or you make smart adjustments. It's one or the other. Okay, and if you quit, you failed. That's admitting you failed. And that's why a lot of people stay in bad marriages. Frankly, they just can't admit they failed. They can't admit they have a failed marriage, and even though they're both maybe very unhappy and maybe not with the right person, they just can't admit they failed. But so what should they be doing is make smart adjustments. And now I'm not saying sometimes it's too far gone and there's no smart adjustments to be made, but hopefully if you loved each other in the first place, there's smart adjustments to be made and you can reclaim your happy married couple status and roles. Okay, but in real estate, if your goal is to make money in real estate, and I want it to be more specific than that, I'd like to have a dollar amount or a deal amount, because you never know what you're going to make per deal. So if you could just say, I want to do, I want to do 2 deals between now and Christmas, and I want to do 10 deals next year. Oh my gosh, you would be on such a track to wealth if you could do that. Even if you could get 1 deal by Christmas. So let's really focus up. Let's, make our plans, set our goals, make our plans, and then stick to our schedules. And so that's 5 hours a week. Literally, if you're putting in 5 hours a week to your real estate business and you're not kind of watching TV while you're sort of looking at paperwork or something, so you're really actually focused, then, 5 hours a week is plenty of time to do deals and to do, to do 10 deals a year for sure. Okay. And so some of it comes down to the logistics, and some of you guys maybe are not working the right farm areas. Maybe you need to start thinking of expanding your farm areas or working in a different city. You need to, think of some different strategies possibly. Maybe maybe if you've been doing wholesales, you need to think of creative financing, or vice versa, or both, depending on the city you live in. Okay, so that's a lot. I came on today and I said, what am I going to talk about today? I wasn't sure, but obviously I get going on goals, plans, and schedule, your success GPS. And I also get going because we're closing in on the end of the year. We don't have that much left in 2025. It's amazing. It feels like the year just started, but here we are. Only about 2.5 months left. So let's see what we can accomplish in this next 2.5 months. Let's do something special. Let's do something spectacular. And guys, that's just doing one deal. I mean, one deal is a game changer, a life changer. If it's bringing $500 a month positive cash flow, remember that's our goal. Hey, Leslie. Yes, GPS, the success GPS. I love talking about that. I want 2 deals before Christmas and 10 to 15 next year. That's a great goal. So guys, again, when you set your goal, either goals don't just happen. You have to make a plan and you have to stick to your schedule. Every plan has a schedule attached. So then when you're sticking to your schedule, and then if it's not developing, if the deals aren't coming for whatever reason, that's when you make your smart adjustments and just keep trying. But you never say, I quit. Noel and Kathy, good morning, you guys. I haven't seen you in a little while. So did you take summer off? It's great to see you. I love it when you guys comment. Come on, I don't know. And sometimes you guys are here and I don't know you're here because you don't say anything. So say something, guys. So I know that you are here. Lacey, you have sent me some different deals before at different times, and some of them are pretty confusing. If you can send it to me, if you can send me that one deal, that one that you're talking about there, and ask specific questions, I'm more than happy to send you some feedback on that deal. Okay. Sometimes I know that you sent me sometimes before several deals and it's all on text and the text gets super long and I get confused. So, remember our email, guys, it's wolfcouple@gmail.com. And every couple of months we have an event that we'd like you guys to send in leads for us to call for you like it was last week. So guys, let's have a great weekend. Do you know you could get a deal this weekend? You could actually call a seller that says yes this weekend. And the great thing about your creative financing business is you can do outbound calling. There's a lot of businesses where, you can't call the customer to say, hey, customer, do you want to come in or do you want to sell? With a restaurant, if you owned a restaurant, you can't call the customers and say, hey, customer, come in and eat here. You can send out coupons and stuff, but you're kind of, under the, it's who walks in the door. You're stuck with whoever walks in the door. Not the case with this. With this, you can generate your own business by calling realtors, listing realtor opening call that is in your what to say and what to do system. You can generate a lot of business by making realtor contacts, explaining what we do, looking for houses that have been listed for 30 days or more. You know what? I'll talk about the realtor program again on Monday. But don't forget, you should be calling realtors, you should call FSBOs. You run out of FSBOs after a certain period of time. So that's when you turn to landlords. And there's a lot of landlords out there who might be interested. They might have 26 properties and, they're willing to, part with a couple of them if you charm them and you're a nice person, and they're very open to seller financing. A lot of landlords, they bought houses through seller financing. They've sold houses on seller financing. They know what it is. So you don't even have to explain it. So remember, landlords, you can this weekend, if you're out of FSBOs, call landlords, use the landlord opening call script, call realtors with the listing realtor opening call script. You can even call property managers. Actually, when you call houses for rent, which is how you're getting hold of landlords, sometimes a property manager will pick up. So remember, we have that property manager closing call as well, opening call as well. All right, guys. So I love seeing you. A lot of great stuff today. Sorry about the mute on in the beginning, but we remedied it relatively quickly. And I will see you guys on Monday. Okay, what's our affirmation for today? I stick to my, let's see, don't abandon your plan. I make smart adjustments. Let's say that. So remember, everybody, there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be challenges and hurdles to overcome. And so long as you keep persistent, everything yields to persistence. So as long as you keep your eyes on the prize and you never stop trying and you keep making smart adjustments, you will reach your goal eventually, unless you die. Okay, don't die and don't stop and don't quit, and you will reach your goal. All right, so let's do let's see. So what was our affirmation? We're going to say, I'm going to reach my goal. Yes, I'm going to reach my goal on three times on three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to reach my goal. I'm going to reach my goal. I'm going to reach my goal. Yes. All right. All right, guys. So let's take 3 deep breaths. Nice deep breath in. Remember, this is real good for your body and your emotions. Another one. So take deep breaths during the day. It's better than grabbing a caffeine soda or a sugary snack. One more. You don't have to just do 3 too. You can keep going. Okay, so awesome. So I will see you on Monday. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and taking action. Have a big action weekend. Try to make 10 to 20 calls this weekend to FSBOs, landlords, 10 to 20 calls. That shouldn't take you more than an hour or two. And that's if you get a lot of people on the phone, which is a good thing. All right. So we'll touch base with you on Monday. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf Cup, and taking action.